Okay, the first part of our project is a recommendation letter application website, and this website is done by me, so I will introduce this part. First, this is a servlet and GFP based website, and I use 3 tools to develop this website. They are the MySQL database used to store the data on this website, and Eclipse, of course, because this is a Java website. And finally, Navicat database managed system. And now I will show you how to run this website and explain its principles. Because we use MySQL database, so first we have to start the MySQL service. Okay, just started. And in the next step, because this is a servlet based website, and the servlet website can only be run on the servlet server like Tomcat. So we have to activate the Tomcat server. Okay, it is started. Now we can access this website from our localhost. And as you can see, this is the whole file folder of this project, of this website. And there are 4 JSP pages, 2 servlet, and 2 functional Java class. First, we have to access this log JSP, and this is a welcome page. So we just need to enter its URL on our browser. We have to access our localhost. And this is practice log JSP, so we just import. Okay, as you can see, this is the first page. This page is quite simple. It just requires the users to input their name and ID. And as you can see, this is a database for this project. And in this database, there are 2 databases. The professor database stores the information of professor here, and the student database. And as you can see, there is only 1 table in this database now. However, after we input something like name AAA ID 222, then you can see now in this database, in this student database, there is a new added table named just named according to our input AAA222 here. So as you can see, once the student log in, his own database, his own table will be created in this student database. And then let me explain the principles. After you click this button, the action is done by the servlet named S01. And in this S01 servlet, it just read the name and ID you have just input. You have just input here. And after it read the name and ID, it will pass them into the first functional Java class, the create student Java class. And in this class, as you can see, these are the JDBC code. In this code, there is a command. It will create a new table according to the name and ID that passed by this servlet here. And these are some JDBC configurations. And now after we input our name and login, we can see the second page, which his code is here, the Student Pro JSP. And in this page, we can read the information of different professors from the database by this function, by this code. And these are the JDBC code as well. In this JSP page, a JDBC connection will be developed, and information of professors in this database will be read by the JDBC code and be shown on this page. And in this page, you can also apply for a recommendation letter from different professors. Now we can see in for Professor 1, there is already a student who have applied a recommendation letter from him. So in this case, if we enter P1, still enter P1, we will get the result that the professor you required already has a student. Now there is a back button. If we click this back button, we will return to this page. And as you can see, the P2 professor is still available. There's no student ID in his information column, so we can apply for recommendation letter from him. So we just enter P2 and our ID and some words we want to say to him. Then we can see a different result. This information will be passed by change professor Java functional class to the database. Now let me explain the principles behind this step, this submit step. So in this page, we can see the action is taken by 02 once you click this button, and in the S02 servlet 2, you can see the same tricks that we played in S01. They are we read these three information from here and pass them into the Java functional class named change professor class. And in this class, there is a method change. It reads the information you entered here and to find whether or not the student ID column of the professor information is still no. If it is no, it means that the professor is available. So in that case, the return value will be 1. And the information will also be updated on the database in professor database. And in that case, in S02 server 2, the request will be transferred into this page, succeed page. And in this succeed page, it is a very simple page. It's just to indicate you that you have applied your recommendation letter successfully. However, if the information column or the student ID column of professor is not null, it means the professor is writing a recommendation letter for a student. So in this case, you cannot apply recommendation letter from him. So in this case, in the S02 servlet, the request will be transferred into field GSP. Just like this is a GSP page that indicates you the professor already have a student, and there's a button back. By clicking this button, the request will be transferred back to student pro page, just this page again, and you can reconsider your choice and to choose a available professor again. So this is our first part, recommendation letter application website.
Hello, as you just say, Zhou Shaonan has built a recommendation letter website, and the rest of us did some research on the network security so that we can help improve the security of this website. Therefore, in the rest of the presentation, some of us are gonna be the attacker, and the rest of us are gonna be the defender. And I am an attacker. I used 3 ways to attack the website. First, DDoS based on HTTP protocol, and the second, ARP poisoning, and the third, DNS hijacking. I'm going to show you the principle of how the 3 attacking method works, and then I will show you the code and also the demo. let us start from the DDoS HTTP, which can be also called HTTP flood attack. The general idea is that when a user wants to access a website, what he really do is to send a request to that website server, and then the website server will send him some response message according to that request. So what I'm going to do is just to pretend I'm a normal user and send 100,000 or even millions of requests to his website server. Then, when a normal user wants to access his website, the web server will be too busy to handle that request. Therefore, the user can only see some 404 pages in their computer. So in this way that I can attack his website, and the following pictures are the main code of this HTTP flood attack written in Python. Now I want to show you a video, a demo video. Let's make it. So before attack, as you can see, the website can work normally, and now I start running my code, and those are the requests that I sent to the website server. And now let us refresh the page, and as you can see, it says you cannot access this website. So now I stop attacking. I send about 1,200 requests, and now I refresh this page again, and now I can access it. So this is the HTTP demo. Now let us talk about my second attack based on ARP protocol. As you can see, here are three faces. The green one is a user, and the red one is the attacker, and the blue one is the website server. And the general idea of ARP poisoning is to change the ARP table inside the user's computer. So that when the user wants to access this IP address, which is the server's IP, he will just use the attacker's MAC address. So the attacker will get the DNS request package, and then he can do some bad things. But some of you maybe want to ask, how can this attacker change the ARP table here? That's a very good question. Before I explain that, you need to know how the ARP table are being built. So at the beginning, the user just have this IP address. What he wants is the corresponding MAC address of this IP. So he will just broadcast this IP address to the whole local internet, and then the police see that message, and he found that, oh, that is my IP address. I need to send some response package to him. So he just sends some response package, which including his MAC address. So when the user gets that response package, he will update his ARP table and fill his MAC address here. So at the beginning, it should be AABBCC2FF. But here is a weakness of ARP protocol. The thing is that the user can not only receive the response package after it really sent a request package, but he can receive that response package at any time, which means even the user didn't send any request package, he can still receive one. So as an attacker, I just need to create a fake response package and send it to the user. So when the user get that fake package, he will see that IP address is the IP address of the website server, but the MAC address is the attacker's MAC address. So he will just update his ARP table. So in this way, that we can change the ARP table of the host. And these are the main code of ARP poisoning written in C. And now let us see the DNS hijacking. As we just discussed, that after the ARP poisoning, the attacker can receive the DNS request package sent from the user. So he will just open that package and get the information inside it. He will see that the user wants to access Zhou Xiaonan's website. So, according to this information, he will create another fake response package, and he will say that the source address, this response package is from his website, and he will tell the user that the IP address of this website is this one, 1.59. But however, the real IP address of this website is not this one. So when the user receives this response package, he will just store this IP address into his computer, and then when he wants to access this website, he will open the fake website that created by the attacker. So if I want to attack his website, what I need to do is just build a fake website which look just exactly same as his. Therefore, when the user, like you guys, open my website, you will just log in as usual and put in your username and your password. I will store these informations into the database, and then I will log in to do some bad things. And due to the reason that we didn't really rent a domain name, so I used the Baidu to do the test on a virtual machine. The first picture is before attacking, and the second picture is after attacking. I didn't make these two pages look similar because I wanted to show you the difference. And here are the process of ARP poisoning and DNS hijacking on the virtual machine. Now I want to show you the video of that. It's bigger. So as you can see, before poisoning, this is the real Baidu website. Now I just check the IP address of this user because I want to make it as the victim. I use these tools. But however, I didn't find his IP address in the list, so I added it by myself. And also add local DNS as the another victim. Start sniffing and add it to target. Now I can start poisoning. And now open the DNS hijacking. Wait a second, and then we can refresh this page from the user side. Then you can see this fake website. But the domain name is cobaidu.com. Baidu.com. So in this way, I just finished my attacking. Thank you.
So, hello, my teammate has already showed 3 different ways of attacking the website, and my job is to show how to defend those 3 different type of network attack, and the first one is DDoS attack defense. So before defend them, we need to detect them. So how to detect the DDoS attack in Windows system? If you are server side, you can use Windows plus R to open the CMD and type the netstat NA to lock the network link between those in the server side. And if a large number of SYM received message is connection status has been observed, then your server-side machine may be under the DDoS attack. I can show you how to do that. And type the and now we can see all the TCP and UDP connection in this computer. And these columns are status columns. We can see they are listening, established, close wait, time wait, and most of them are wait and listening, and this is SYN sent. So in my computer, I don't have SYN received, but if you found a large number of SYN received message in this column, then you may have a problem. So if you are client side, we don't have a very clear method to detect DDoS attack, but if you cannot access the website page or the opening process is very slow, then you may under the DDoS attack. So how to defend them? First method is backup. If the website is attacked by DDoS, we can go offline the website and enable the backup website, or write an announcement saying that our website is under attack. Please visit it later. And the second method is intercept. We can detect the characteristic of the attack. If the hacker's IP can be found, so all the requests sent from that IP can be directly blocked. And there are 3 ways to block them: hardware, firewall, and software. And hardware is the most efficient way to block, but it also costs the most. If you are not so rich, just use firewall and software. And the third method is expansion bandwidth. So as long as the bandwidth is sufficient, the website can handle all attack requests and normal requests without being overwhelmed. We know the principle of DDoS attack is send hundreds of or millions of attack request so that the normal request cannot be received by the website. But if your website bandwidth is enough, then your website can handle both at the same time. So if in that way, the DDoS attack won't be a problem for you. So the second defense is ARP spoofing defense. And how to detect the ARP spoofing defense? If you found your computer have frequent network drops, or the internet speed suddenly slows down, then you may under the ARP spoofing. And the third method is if the MAC address of the gateway viewed with the ARPA command is different from the real gateway MAC address, so your computer is definitely under the ARP spoofing attack. And I can show you how to do that. Just firstly we can type ipconfig, and now we can see the gateway's IP address. Then we can type this, and this can show the network connection in this computer, and we use ARPA. So we can see this row. This row is gateway's IP address and the gateway's MAC address, and we can see they are same: 10.33.128.252, and they are same. So my computer is not under the ARP spoofing attack. But if they are different, if these two are different, then it will be a problem. Okay, so how to defend the ARP spoofing? We can directly ban the MAC address, like we don't use ARP anymore, and we can use the static ARP cache table. And we can also add a static mapping to this computer. I can show you how to do that. We use the -CII and add neighbors and plus IDX number and the gateway IP and the gateway's MAC address. So plus C and we need to find the IDX number. It's connected. It's this one, 6, type 6, and the gateway's IP address is this one. Copy that, and the gateway's MAC address. Okay, something wrong. Can directly, okay, I forgot to type add neighbors. Add neighbors 6. Okay, and it said I need to do that as an administrator, so I can do that as an administrator. We can open that and copy. Okay, so now we add a static mapping and we type again. It says the object is already exist because we already add this static mapping. So, and the third method is use the ARP server to find the ARP table through the server to respond to broadcasts from other machines. And the fourth method is use ARP spoofing protection software. You can download it on internet, or you can find it on many websites. And the last one is DNS spoofing defense, and it also divides into two parts: how to detect them and how to prevent them. Okay, so when the DNS spoofing occurs, the client will receive at least two response data packets, all of which contains the same ID sequence number. One is legal, but the other one is disguised. And there are two ways to detect the DNS spoofing. First, we can passively listening detection. Use passively listening detection. We can monitor and detect all DNS requests and response messages. Usually, DNS server only send one response data message for one request query. Therefore, if a request receives two or more response data packets within a short period of time, it is suspect of being DNS spoofed. And then we can use active heuristic detection. We can automatically send a verification packet to check whether there is a DNS spoofing. Usually, sending a verification data packet does not receive a response. However, in order to send the spoofing information to the client before the legal response packet arrives at the client, the hacker will not check the IP will not check the IP and of the DNS server and continue to implement spoofing. If you receive a response packet, it means you have been attacked by spoofing. And how to prevent them? There are two simple methods. One is simple, one is something more complicated. We can directly use the IP address on the client to visit important website. For example, Baidu's IP address is this, and I can. So normally we will type Baidu to find the website. But now we directly copy the IP address and enter. We can also directly go to the Baidu website, and it's safer than the other method, than the other way. And the another method is to encrypt the data flow of DNS server and client. The server side can use the SSH encryption protocol, and the client side can use the PGP software to implement data encryption. Okay, so that's my part. Thank you.
Okay, today I want to introduce my project, the network security. What I've done is DOS and CC attack. DOS attack is a denial of the service attack. It's an attack against the computer or network which reduces, restricts, or prevents accessibility of its system resource to authorized users. And it has several types: buffer overload, sign flood, teardrop, and ping of death. And this attack happens, your website starts showing these symptoms: the inability of user to access the website, slow network performance, failing to load the site page, and the loss of connectivity across devices on the same network. What I've done is sign flooding. Let's look at the TCP 3 times handshake. The first step is to request the server to send a signed message. After receiving the message, the server will send a signed ACK back to the requesting party to indicate confirmation. And when the requesting party receives the signed ACK, it will send an ACK message to the server again, so that a TCP connection is successfully established. The sign flooding is a DOS attack that specifically touches the TCP stack during the initial connection handshake between two hosts. Let's see how it works. Here exactly is the DOS, not the DDoS. Here we can see that we should put in the target URL, data size, correction number, and attack count. We have to open the CMD first. And then run the code on the CMD. Firstly, we have to go to the Java files place. The place is here. This is our Java file. And then copy it here. We go to the homework file, and first we have to translate the Java file into class file. We put in the file's name. Then we can see that here is a folder. The homework, we have our class here. Then we can run it on the CMD. So for the effective, I just copy the instruction. Here we can see that this is a folder's name, and this is a class's name, and this is a target file, and here point to the data size, correction number, and attack count. Then we run it. We can see that the attack is running. Let's show how it works. This is my junior high school's website. In the attack, you can see that we failed to connect to this website, and when we stop, and then we click again. It still takes some seconds to connect. Okay, then we could connect to this website. And now, yeah, it's much quickly than after the attack finished. Then let's move to CC attack. In a challenging collapse attack, the attacker uses a proxy server to generate and send this ghost request to the target host. In addition, the attacker controls other hosts in the internet to make them sending large numbers of data package to the target server to exhaust its resources. In the end, the target server stopped responding the request. Let's show you how it works. We can just change the URL here. Here is the URL. Then we can just run it on the Java. Attack is going, and here we can see that we can also loading the website. Okay. Then we stop it.